Preparing live stream.
All right, meeting is now streaming live.
Oh, are you there?
Awesome.
Good, because I'm
Yeah.
not yet.
It says meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. It says
Oh, good.
live.
My phone just gave me a little bloop letting me know that you're live. So
Okay.
we're there.
Wow,
Awesome.
oh, I see us. Okay, great. Oh, I hear double of us again. Okay.
Cindy, make sure to hit the mute button, please.
Mute button. Okay.
Yep, when you're not talking.
Okay. Are you guys hearing double?
I'm not, no.
Okay, I guess it's just me because it's open in VIPKid. I mean, in YouTube and VIPKid. So.
I can hear the double on your end, but I don't hear it on my end.
Okay, I'm going to re-sign in, guys. Sorry.
I can't believe you're doing this while you're in Hawaii, girl. Go to the beach for me, please.
It's not sunny here.
Well, Casey, you know I'm from Hawaii. I grew up there, 7 years old through high school and college. So I'm jealous.
Oh, that's great. I'm so sorry this is taking me a minute, guys.
We're just hanging out.
I don't know. Is this live right now? My phone says live.
Okay, I guess so, but I'm not in it.
Weird.
Weird.
Okay, guys, let's check it out. Are you guys in?
I don't know. I'm checking. I just pulled up YouTube. Let's see here.
Oh, I'm good now. Now we're not doubles.
Okay.
All right. And there are 3 of us in.
Hello,
Okay.
world.
Wow, sorry about the first few minutes, everybody. Does somebody want to share the YouTube link to other groups? It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll get to work on that. Just give me a minute.
Thank you.
Awesome, thanks. Okay, guys, welcome to our week 2 collaboration. Today we have all things level 1. I think we can talk about props we like to use, our favorite lessons, our least favorite lessons. I think we'll go over really quick on how others can get certified in teaching level 1. So today we have a great group. We have Cindy, Danny, and Morgan with me here, and maybe others will join us soon. We're not really sure who's going to jump in on this live with us. But yeah, so does anybody want to start talking about level 1, what they like? Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want me to go ahead?
Sure.
Okay. I can hear a little bit of an echo, but I'm just going to go ahead and talk. So I do not do level 1 exclusively. When I first got hired to the company, I was in the like 3, 4, 5 level ranges, and I kind of went up in levels and to start with, and then I decided I would go ahead and go down with levels and get all of the certifications I could. And so when I get my bookings, I usually don't have a full load of level 1s or level 2s type of thing. And I usually get a variety of all different levels. But I have seen on Facebook that some people are afraid of level 1. I guess it depends on what you like, but I do tend to like level 1. I've never done like a whole bunch of level 1s in a row. But I found like if I have 5 or 6 classes in a row, which is a good stretch for me, if I have a level 1 in the middle there, it kind of helps me to keep going.
Mhm.
And I really enjoy it. And I love the little kids because they just seem to be happy with anything. Like, you know, as long as you're clapping and you're making a few motions and you're getting some words out of them, it's a good class. And what I found for level 1 is that a lot of the kids have started at a younger age in, you know, so kids now in China that might be 4 or 5 have a better pronunciation ability than kids that are older. Like kids that have learned English, but maybe they're 10, 11, or 12, their pronunciation is more difficult. So they might be able to read, but it's
Yeah.
harder to get them to pronounce the words correctly. And I found with the younger kids, they have a clearer you know, it just, well, we learn that in our studying for ESL language that if they start younger, then, so I think that in some ways the younger ages are easier, you know, because they can pronounce the words better, easier, and it seems to come to them and it's more natural to them. So that's,
Good. Danny, I think you were ready to say something. Do you want to? No? More?
I am very new to level 1, but I'll say my favorite thing is the songs and how you can extend with anything, colors, numbers, you can just extend wherever you feel like it, and it's fun.
Mhm. Yeah, you definitely can find ways to extend easy in level 1s. Yeah. All right, Morgan, you are our level 1 guru over here.
Not a guru, just a dork. But I love level 1 because you can teach the same lesson to 5 different kids and you will have had to teach it 5 different ways because your first kid loves Spider-Man, keeps bringing Spider-Man into the classroom. Your second kid just wants to stand up and dance the entire time. And so everything has to become a song. Your third kid is absolutely just tired and wants to nap. Your fourth kid, like all of your kids are completely different. And I feel
Yeah.
like once you get to like level 2, level 3, your kids, they're very familiar with the online format. They know to sit down, they follow along, they pay attention, and we still should extend and make every class tailored to a particular child. But that takes a lot of study, knowing that child, asking leading questions to learn more about that child. When
Mhm.
it comes to your level 1 student, they're going to come to class, and when you open up that camera, you've got the unicorn right in your face, and you're like, this is a unicorn class. How am I going to extend with this unicorn? Do I have a unicorn? That sort of thing. So I like that it's unexpected in a lot of ways, and we just have a lot of fun. And so one of the main points of level 1 is just to foster that love of learning and to cause the child to want to continue on in their education. And so they're focusing on having fun, they're focusing on their soft skills, they're focusing on listening to a foreign learner, and we're just creating a fun environment that will want them to continue on in their English education for hopefully years to come.
Great. So for those that don't know, level 1 is for 3 years, 10 months to 5 years, 12 months, according to the VIPKid website. So we are teaching, you know, the babies. And during level 1, we go on a trip with Meg and Mike to 12 different countries. There are 8 lessons in each country. So do you guys have a favorite country that for the level 1 studies?
Egypt.
I love walking like an Egyptian. Cindy, Danny?
I really enjoy teaching. Like I got to teach one kid to graduate. That was pretty awesome. I wasn't his regular teacher, but that's kind of a sad time when they go from level 1 though to level 2, because like all of a sudden they're not getting all those songs. It just like, it's almost like they like become adults. Yeah. And I feel like some of them are like, wait a second, where's all the fun songs, you know? And it definitely gets
Mhm.
different after the level 1. So, but I do love the one thing I use, I don't have with me right now, is the all the little children of all the different countries. I use those, and I love the stars. The stars I printed out, I think I got those from the level 1 Facebook group. And I love those and use those all the time. If I could ask for one thing, I would or maybe I should do it myself, but I would love to have like headbands with those hats, you know, like for each different
Oh,
country, have maybe a headband or something you could put on or wear that is similar to what they wear in the country. But I love all of them, and I'm sort of a little bit of a minimalist. Like I do not use flashcards for everything. I use the little kid picture. I use all the TPR that you're supposed to use in the class. But a lot of times I use the whiteboard. So if I have a time at the end of class, like I had a student recently and she did like, I don't know, it was P, I think big P, little p. So I'll use the blank screen at the end and review the letters by doing that instead of, spending a lot of time with flashcards. I have so much stuff, but I get overwhelmed when I'm teaching if I have too many props and too many things going up and down. And then I feel like I'm not really doing the lesson as much as just doing my own thing. So that's one thing that I've done a lot of with the little kids. And if I still have time left, I'll write their name. And I love the idea that Morgan gave me was draw a dino. And usually I don't do that at the beginning, but I'll do that at the end if we still have time. We'll draw a dino, and I'll use like draw a, curvy line. I'll use different words so they can copy after me and use it as a way of extension. So
okay.
that's what I do.
Yeah, I like my props. Morgan, you like the props too?
Oh yeah, I've got Beanie Babies, Beanie Boos. I've stolen from my children. I have 3 children. I am sorry. If they can't find a doll, they know to go to the basement. It's in mom's office. I actually have all the animals from level 1 from the lesson 7 is the science lesson. And I don't know why they call it science. It's basically like see an animal. So, but it's a science lesson. So I've got all the different Beanie Boos or maybe a knockoff Beanie Boo or something for each of the animals. And I love to bring those out during the unit song if it's talked about in the unit song, and definitely lesson 7. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm going to talk too much. For USA, I have a snake, and it is a long snake, and I just love it so much. I drape it around my neck. I have it hiss. I have yet to have a student who's afraid of it because I always have it kiss the camera. But anyway, I love my
Like you have a real snake?
Oh gosh, no. A stuffed animal snake. No, no, no. No, no, no. Homie, don't play. No, I don't have a snake.
I have a question.
Just checking. Okay. Is
Can I ask
the
a
internet
question?
still good for you guys? Yes, Danny.
So as someone who, same as Cindy, I started out with the upper levels and I was afraid of the lower levels, but now I'm there and I love it. But I need tips on how to stop my extra language because I have a hard time reeling it back into simple.
Anybody?
Yes, what really helped me with a lot of my incidental language was my daughter started taking lingo bus lessons, and just listening to how her teacher managed to rein in her incidental language. Like her teacher uses a lot of very expressive sounds. And so instead of saying like, oh, no, no, not that, I might go, bwah, 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 no, and they know no, right? But I do a lot of sound effects, or instead of giving a lot of like, high five, you did a great job. Well, obviously they know high five, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Or instead of saying hello, hello at the beginning, I have like a student whose name is Leo, and I always start every class under the desk, and then I come out Leo, 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 Leo. For some reason, everyone's name goes to I've been working on the railroad. I don't know. It just happens. But just finding ways, instead of having that conversation at the beginning to build rapport, you build rapport by like repeating their name, by being excited. And I don't know, it just takes a lot of practice and really being cognizant to reduce the incidental language. The problem I have is when the parents start to talk to me, and then I just feel like I start to go into level 2, level 3 sort of incidental language. And then I'm like, whoa, pull it back, Morgan. Hopefully mom will stop talking to me and I can make sure that the child understands. But yeah, I don't have any advice other than just, I don't know, practice and making dorky sounds.
Yeah. And Cindy?
I found that, I don't know, I found that a lot of the kids like for us, if say you're doing Lingo Bus, you're probably starting at ground zero. But kids that are in China, they start a lot higher on a level of somewhat of a little bit of knowledge of certain sounds and words. But I found that they actually can say more words and they do understand me. But I'll say like, are you ready? Things like that, that I will say the same things over and over. But I don't know. I've just found that they're not starting at ground zero like we would for the most part. And a lot of times the parents do know English, so I feel like some kids, I feel like they know, probably can hear it and hear words more than we do, but they don't know how to speak it fluently like we do.
Yeah. I also think that as you have a student, often your incidental language is kind of part of it now, since you've had them so many times that they know that if you're saying, "Are you ready?" that's what that means after you've had them for a couple of times. So, but each
Right.
slide has its own, sentences on them anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's
Level one, the
important.
hardest part for me is my cheeks. When I have 5 or 6 in a row, my cheeks hurt so bad.
I think it's important to remember that like a 3-year-old level 1 is different than a 5-year-old level 1. We have such a broad age range, and developmentally speaking, what you expect out of a 3-year-old, language-wise, behavioral-wise, etc., is completely different than your expectations for a 5-year-old. So once again, that goes back to how no level 1 lesson is ever going to be taught the same way twice. And so that sort of informs your usage of language in the classroom as well, I think.
Okay, Morgan, I think this one is for you from Danny. She wants to know more about the songs and lip sync. And I think you are the one for the songs. And also if you can put your link to your YouTube if you haven't already in the
Oh, yeah, I will do that in the YouTube chat in just a
yeah.
minute here. When I teach the song, I will teach it line by line to the student. And then when I press the play button, yes, Danny, I totally lip sync, because otherwise there is a slight delay between our voice and the child's voice. But I always teach the song line by line first. So it helps to know what the piggyback song is, because all of the songs except for USA are a piggyback song from a melody that's a traditional American folk song. So being able to know which folk song goes along with which song will help you to teach it to the child. Then you hit the play button, you dance like a mad woman, you put on your AR sticker, and I have to make sure that I'm quiet. I mouth the words though, and I really listen into the student to see if there's any words that we need to work on pronunciation on, and if so, I circle them on the slide, and I then review that afterwards if it's a 5-year-old or a 4.5-year-old and not a 3-year-old. And if it's a 3-year-old, good job, high five, move on. I'll grab that link. So I'm going to like not be paying attention for like 10 seconds here. So just a sec.
Yeah, that's a good point though, Morgan, about lip syncing, because I haven't been and I probably need to. So yeah, Cindy.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say too. I love Morgan's video with all the songs on it. That's really awesome. But I wanted to say that keep in mind that they're going to have several lessons. And if you're at the beginning of the unit, they might not get all of the words correctly, and that's what I found is the songs are pretty fast on the video. And so I always just do the first line and have them do the second line and take that slow. And then in the feedback, I might even say to the parent, have the student review the song. There are some really good, I don't know how I say it professionally, of course, but there are some good sounds for the student to practice, and reviewing the song is a good way to practice. And so I might write that in the feedback too. And not sometimes the parents expect, I've had students where the parent is sitting there correcting every single sound, and it gets to be too much. And sometimes the parents need to understand that, their child is doing wonderfully, you know, and we need to praise the kid and just give the parent, you know, just work on the song. Like, don't act like the kid has to know every single thing in the lesson. We'll review it as we continue going. And I think the parents appreciate give something for them to do, but taking a little bit of the pressure off that they have to be perfect with every lesson. That's
Good.
fine.
So for anyone watching, I know we have about 3 other people watching. Let us know you're here. I see we have teacher Kim in here. She says she misses teaching level 1. All her kiddos moved up to level 2 now. I have never had that, so I don't know how that's gonna be. And great, Morgan put her YouTube video to the songs. I would say check that out because it's great. I've been using all the TPR, like the pyramid now, that I didn't really think about. So yeah, check out her video. So the eating, Cindy. Good. Okay, so also the main goals for level 1 is to increase students' interest in language learning and continue future education. So in level 1, it's not all about, I mean, we want to teach the sounds and things, but it's all about getting them to love learning English. Do you guys agree with that? Did I lose you guys? Oh, there we are.
We all agree. Yep.
You were all frozen on my screen. It was great. Also, encourage students to be able to communicate and speak in English is a goal. Develop appropriate classroom behavior. So we are on the front lines to get them ready for the higher levels. Those of us that teach level 1, we are teaching them how to be students. So, and the last one, according to VIPKid, is develop students' critical thinking skills. So I thought those were important to mention, just because I think sometimes in level 1, some may forget that it's all about showing them a love of learning and to get them to want to be here and want to be students with us. So yeah, so I thought that was important to mention. Okay, what do you find, I don't think I asked this yet, what do you find is your most challenging level 1 lesson or country? What do you think?
Knuckleball in Mongolia is difficult. I've only taught it a few times. For those of you who aren't familiar with the lesson, it is teaching throw, grab, catch. And so the idea is that you throw a ball, grab a piece of paper, and then you catch the ball. All of this is very difficult to do for any human being. Also, it requires being at a table. And I mean, based on your setup, you might not, like when I taught at a laptop, I used to be able to, I'm obviously not at my desk now, but I would throw, grab, catch like that, and then bring it back up. So one of the things that someone taught me actually through the level 1 prep and tips was using a balloon. I'm like, oh, doy, that is fantastic. Yeah, because it takes longer for it to come down. You have more time to grab and catch. Also, I know a lot of teachers submitted complaints, concerns, like tears to the company about that particular lesson. And they actually changed some of the slides. So you actually click the slide and you can see the ball go down. You can click a slide, you see the ball go up. And that animation was not there even, I would say, maybe 6 to 8 months ago. So I appreciate that the company has tried to remove some of the pain of knuckleball, but the pain of knuckleball is still there because a lot of these lessons we're supposed to have the student do it along with us, because part of level 1 is having a lot of that action in their learning, because that's how young students learn. Young children learn by doing. So these action lessons, we are supposed to do it with them as well. But you always have the problem of, did the child bring those particular things to class so that they can do it? And then can they actually do it? And I don't feel that knuckleball really sets the kids up for success. So finding a way to have fun while still teaching the required vocabulary can be a challenge with some of the action lessons, and I found that one to be difficult. But we can do it. Go team.
We can. I think that one's tough too. I was thinking the paper airplane one was a little bit tricky for me because I was not as prepared as I should have been. Had I prepared my plane ahead of time and figured out how I was, yeah, I'm totally calling myself out. But if I was more prepared, it would have been easier. Um, but I like when the kids run and get their paper and they try to make it with you, then it's, more interactive and it takes them longer too. So you have to watch on your time too. But
Right.
Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even follow the directions. I just do. I just take a piece of paper. It's really all in how you do it. Like, I mean, I just say fold, and just get into it. And then by the end, you've got something. They can't tell how awesome it looks. And I had one kid that he was like, he was throwing this thing all around the classroom. I'm like, I only have like 5 more minutes left. But they just have fun, and it doesn't have to be, a perfect airplane. It's really just, you're trying to get the words out, and you're trying to, like you said, have fun, keep them interactive. But I wanted to say on the ball one throw, I actually had a student, I just took a piece of paper and he did the same thing as me, and we're throwing and we're catching, and all of a sudden he threw it, and he went down, and I could hear whack. And then when he got up, he had a cut on his eyebrow, and like I could see it, but I didn't know what to do, and the kid was just going along. And then I think it was his grandmother that was there or something, but his parent or whoever it was got a Band-Aid, like a big, huge Band-Aid, stuck it on his, and he just kept going like nothing ever happened. So it was really cute. But the next time I had him a couple days later, the Band-Aid was off and there was a little cut there. So, but I thought,
that is a level 1 hazard of falling. I've had one fall doing the stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. He missed the chair. And then the next class, I was scared because he had to do it again. And I was like, ah. And Mom said, no, I'll protect him. Oh, hi. So, Danny, did you mention which one is tough for you? I know you haven't had very many, right?
I actually did that same the ball throw catch without looking at it because I think I'm so good and I'm not. But finally, when it got to the paper part, he crushed up a paper and then we had fun. My question is, when, like, for advice for other teachers who are nervous about the level ones and how wiggly they can be, or like she just said, getting hurt, if they're really off task, what are your steps? What do each of you do? Do you threaten first to contact mom and dad? Do you say, is mom there? Do you call the fireman? Like, what is each of your process?
So I'm always really cognizant of what's in the room. So if the child has shown me a doll or something earlier, if that child starts to go off screen, I'll start to ask for that doll. So like one of the first things I do in the classroom is it's a conversation thing and also sort of a preventative thing. If they have a doll, I ask for the doll's name. Or if it's like a horse, I say, hi horse, I teach the name horse. And then I have that filed away. We both have that common language of, that's a horse. So when that child goes off screen, I will ask for the child, I will ask for the horse, I will say, where is horse? I will bring out my horse or something like that. Or if the child has dino, child likes dino, where's dino? So first step that I always do is I pull out my my doll or I ask for their doll. Usually that helps. The next thing that I do is I will try to get their bodies moving because obviously they want to move. So we'll go back maybe to at the beginning of the lesson, we usually have the stand up, sit down like Cindy was talking about, or hands up, hands down, sometimes be quiet, things like that. So, make really loud noises and then pretend like it's too loud and say be quiet. So trying to go back to those movement things and bring them in through that. And then at the last case scenario, like I had a kid who had their iPad and they were just running around the room, running in circles, jumping on the bed, falling down on the bed, completely nutso. And they were having their best life now, and they just did not want to deal with English, right? And so then at that point, I did contact the fireman, but I generally try to get to child using other means, because usually mom and dad are nearby, and if they hear a lot of teacher output, their ears sort of perk up, like, why is my kid not saying anything? And so then they're usually come in and pay a little bit more attention. And then so I've only had to call the fireman maybe a handful of times for student behavior, because usually parents is there like white on rice. But it's, so that's sort of my last case scenario thing.
Yeah, Cindy.
One time, this is when I first started, I had a student that actually was falling asleep, and you know, she just, I think it was probably one of the later times that they've did away with now, but she was just going down, and everything in me, I'm a mom, I'm like, let the kids sleep, like, you know, but I'm like, I don't want to waste anybody's time either. And so at that point, I don't know why, but I did contact the fireman, and the fireman called mom, and the mom gave her a snack, and she kept going. So, you know, sometimes you got to use your intuition as to what's going on in the classroom. And sometimes you try this, you try that, you know, and sometimes you might call the firemen, sometimes you don't. I don't know if the firemen are as hands-on as they have been. Like, usually the first thing they're going to do is switch lines.
Right.
So, you know, if you're ready for that, call the firemen.
Right.
Other than that, you know, try everything you can. If they're participating, like I have one student that wanted to roll with the iPad, and the family's right there. Like, nobody's stopping him. So I know he loves to draw. So that's where I would get out my whiteboard and say, let's draw this or something, get a piece of paper even, and draw this with me, or the dice game to draw, you know. So sometimes you have to kind of change gears and do something that works for that class and that student. But I found that drawing is a really good way to keep the student interested, even the little kids, you know. Drawing a dog is a universal language. So I found that helps with the moving students.
Yeah. I also have them stand up and march, and we count to 10 or something, just get them moving or dancing, or sometimes I'll go back to the theme song. I kind of wish the theme songs were in the UAs because I think they missed that little part. But also, they think it's hilarious. Somebody mentioned, I think Morgan, the be quiet. And I'll have Dino come up, and Dino starts talking. I'm like, shh, Dino. And for some reason, they think it's hilarious and start listening again. So you never know when Dino's going to pop up and do something crazy. So I think they're just like waiting and waiting to see what Dino will do next. Or a prop on your head works every time. There's a bear that fits perfect on my head, and they'll just start focusing right there because it's something different. They don't know what I'm going to do. So I think lots of TPR for level 1 helps them stay focused. So, okay, favorite props. Look at that dino you've got there. Speaking of props, what do you guys think for someone getting started for level 1 would be the most important props to get started? Or it doesn't have to be realia. It can be any kind of props. So anybody want to chime in on that one? Yes.
I would just say that I would definitely print out the little children for each for each country. And then what I would suggest, if you're just starting out, like when you look at your classes, get some props for each class, and then kind of work on your collection, you know, because it can be overwhelming. If you go to somebody's website and they have everything there and you put everything in line, that can be a lot of work, and it can be very overwhelming to me anyway. So I would just take it one day at a time until you build up your collection.
I did that when I got started. I printed out everything level 1 and put them all in an envelope. So every time a lesson comes up, I pull out my envelope. But I do like the Google Slides for the haka, because it shows The Rock when he's in Moana doing the haka dance, and it's so cute. I love it. All right, Morgan, I think you're ready.
Yeah, but I have mom brain and I forgot the question. So come back around.
Favorite props for level 1.
I would always just start with a doll. I mean, if you have a dino, you should use a dino. If you don't have a dino, then find something else cute that you can use. I know a lot of people really lean on puppets, but just I think having a doll that's there to interact with the student, I think is great. And then just like Cindy said, having the all the level 1 characters for each unit, and also have the names written on the back, because I have studied the level 1 curriculum backwards and forwards for months. For some reason, that's my thing. That's what I do in my spare time, which is just weird. It's because I'm a weird person. I still cannot remember Alberto. Cannot remember his name. I confuse Alberto and Pierre, and I confuse Miguel and Juanito. And so I need to write their names on the back, but I haven't yet. So then I sometimes ask the student, who is this? Oh yeah, hi Juanito. Like, thank you. But yeah, I think between having the characters, having a printout of Meg and Mike, having a dino, or having any sort of doll, I think that's a really good place to be at when you're first starting to get your certification.
Good. There are printable dinos. I used the printable dino when I first got started. Well, there goes my Boston. Got started with VIPKid. I had my printable dino with me, and I eventually got the dinos because I just loved them. And Black Friday, they were all on sale, so I grabbed a bunch of them. And now the kids like to pick, because I have a little table and all 4 of them are sitting there. So they pick which dino is going to sing the ABCs that day. So, Danny, you have any go-to level 1 props?
Well, I'm new, but I always use my cat and dog when I am introducing. I say, "Do you like cats?" Probably too many words, but I'm just it works usually, and then I'll be like, "Yes or no," and then I have my X or check too, just to say dog or cat. And then a stuffed animal for sure. And I don't have any of the characters, but I have Meg and Mike. So I can still pretend to talk with Meg and Mike to Pierre or whoever it is.
Good. Now, Morgan, I think that the printable little people are in the level 1 Facebook group under the files, right? Do you know?
Yeah, they are. We have them for each of the units in the flashcard, and then we also have a larger file that has Meg, Mike, Dino, and all of the characters with their names and their unit underneath. And that's also in our Google Drive. There's a link in the Google Drive, as well as something that you can click in the files on the Facebook group.
I couldn't get to the Google Drive last time. It kept saying I wasn't signed in, even though I was signed into my Google Drive. But yeah, I'm still working on trying to get into that.
All right, sounds good. Let me know. I think it's sorted out on our end, but I'll, always willing to try and figure out new things.
Always helping me. Sorry, Morgan, I need lots of help. So overall, I think level 1 is one of my favorites. Sometimes when I have a long stretch, I will admit to being exhausted after. I like to have, my level 1s separated by another level. Luckily on my baby day, which I've told you about before, I start with a level 5 and I end with a level 4 usually on baby day, or sometimes. So that helps. I don't think Morgan was on our last live. Baby day is when I have like my stretch of 4 or 5 level 1s and the rest are level 2s. So that is my baby day. All right, so overall, level 1, thumbs up? Yeah, I like it too. I think that is all I have. Does anyone else have any questions? I'm checking the chat.
Are we going
Kelly.
to
Thank you.
are we going to do voice of VIPKid separately, or are we going to talk about that along with level 1?
Oh, I thought that would be separate.
Okay.
Do
you
want to do that one next week?
I haven't done very many of them. I don't know if anybody else is doing many at this time.
I just lost you, Cindy.
Okay. Is anyone doing them at this time? Do you get
I've done
any?
one.
Okay. Maybe there are not too many of them available right now.
I think we need to. Oh, sorry, guys. My internet went unstable for a second there. Okay. I think Morgan probably. Oh, I don't know. I know there's some that Morgan wanted that she didn't have yet, but she might do voice of VIP.
I think she does. Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys want to do that one next, we can do that one.
I don't know if that one needs an entire, I don't know, an entire
We could do 2 supplementary classes next time. Yeah. So Morgan, we're just talking. Do you have voice of VIPKid?
Oh yeah.
I am terrified of it. I've taught one, and I have this deep raspy voice. And one time somebody posted on the Facebook group that they got negative feedback for not singing well. And I'm like, oh, so I love to have fun, but
How many do you do, Morgan?
I only do like maybe one every 2 weeks because I have regulars, but I love them. Whenever I get one, I always thank the LP for booking me. Even though, did you know I just found out today that the LPs don't do the booking for the supplementals, they just happen? I saw it. It was like a ticket response on Facebook. But anyway, I always thank the LPs anyway and just wait for the next one I get. But I enjoy them.
I thank them for trials. And I think that's one reason why I have so many trials is because I always thank them for choosing me. I don't know if that's true or not, but I have a lot of trials and I love them. I love trials.
Wait, how do you thank the LP?
Down at the very bottom, after we give feedback, there's a box for the LP. Okay. And I just thank them in there.
It says for VIPKid and that the parents will not see I don't usually put much in that box, but I did get a trial. I don't get trials hardly ever. And I got a trial the other day and the next day I got $5.
I loved it. I was so proud of you. That's awesome.
Because I thought I loved the kid. He was, I think I had told you guys I wasn't sure what level it was going to be. And he was like a level, I don't know, 2 or 3. He could read, but then he like played dumb sometimes. So, you had to kind of bring it out of him. He acted like, oh, I don't know my ABCs, and his mother's like, what? He could read and everything, but he didn't know his ABCs. So it was a lot of fun. And I felt like I connected with them. So it was really nice. It's nice when you feel that way and then they feel that way too. So
I do make it a goal. Trial lessons are a goal of mine. I try to convert so many a month just because I feel like it challenges me a little bit more. And I love trials. So in September, I had a really good trial conversion rate. And then I didn't have as many October. I didn't get many trials in November and they all started coming back December and January. So Danny asked if anyone taught words to sentences. I am certified, but I haven't taught it yet.
I've taught one. I have one coming up in 2 days, and I have another one the following week. So they're starting to trickle in.
So Cindy mentioned doing Voice of VIP for our next collaboration. Sorry, guys, I'm starting to lose my voice. And maybe we don't need the whole time for one. So we talked about maybe doing 2. Is the words to sentences something you're interested in? Danny,
yeah.
We could choose a couple supplements.
One today, and I would love to talk about it more.
Okay.
I have not taught any, so I have no clue.
No, but what about Voice of VIP?
Oh yeah, I could do that.
You can talk about Power of the Sun. So we could do a winter camp special next week, guys. Woo, winter camp. All right, well, that is all I have written down in my notes. Let me just check the chat really quick. Let's see. Teacher Kelly said she'll watch the beginning later, but she said that's why she didn't certify for it. Kelly, is it because of being afraid to sing in front of the parents and things like I mentioned, or? And she also says she taught one on Saturday. So maybe she'll type into the chat about that. I love her background. All the Chinese New Year. And she looks so good on that Zoom call that we did last week, that background and everything. So yeah, I'm just waiting to see if she mentions anything else. Do you guys have anything else level 1 related you want to say to anybody? Besides check out Morgan's YouTube. And I think Cindy and Danny, do you have any anything level 1 on your YouTube channels? No, Danny, no.
I don't really have anything specifically level 1. I do have a voice, a VIPKid example.
Mhm.
Low
Good.
props, just stuff that I had grabbed. It was hilarious, so I thought I would share it. So that's all I have for the younger levels.
Great. Okay, everybody. So check out Morgan's YouTube channel for her music. And there is a VIPKid Facebook group dedicated to level 1, which Morgan is our admin for that. Yes, is that the word I'm? Yeah. Look at our shirt. I need one of those shirts. I love it. So, all right, everybody. It was great seeing everybody. Thanks again for coming. So much easier doing live. Are you guys okay with the live? Because then it's just done. All right.
How much
All right.
longer are you in Hawaii?
I am in Hawaii till Thursday.
Enjoy.
So
Breathe it in.
I wanted to show you guys and be out on the balcony, but it is so loud out there. So I didn't want it to be too loud on this and keep pushing my picture forward. So, all right. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll
Thank
see you
you.
guys next
Goodbye.
time. Bye.
See you next week.